I have flipped phones for over a decade, and you're probably wondering why I started, where I got started, and when did I actually start making money. In this video, I'm going to give you guys a short rundown on everything that they don't tell you about phone flipping. And I'm gonna tell you why, because see, phone flipping is not the end all be all. Also, it's not a side hustle you can actually become wealthy doing. You have to end up turning it into something, and you guys probably heard me say that plenty of times. But there's gonna be things in this video you have not actually heard me say or teach. And I'm gonna go and expose the secrets that people that are actually successfully phone flipping don't wanna tell you. Don't worry, I got your back. We're gonna deep dive right into it. Let's first start with why I started, okay? Now, when I started phone flipping, I was broke. Now, I had some money, but I was broke because I didn't actually know that I could be flipping my money into more money. Now, flipping money is a skill, it's a system. You have to understand you're always going to have to start with a few things. One, a budget. But I would say you need around $300 to start, as you're gonna need a phone. Because you need to make these deals happen, you have to reach out. And then lastly, you're gonna need a Facebook or OfferUp. These are going to be important when we talk about how to close, which is later in the video, where I actually show you guys how I'm going to be making deals on a consistent basis moving forward and how you should be too. Facebook or OfferUp. Now, these two platforms have some positives and have some negatives, okay? When I talk about the positive and negatives, I actually wanna bring you guys over here for a second so you can see. All right, so we have Facebook OfferUp. Facebook, I'm gonna tell you guys how much we made last month, $2,098. On OfferUp, we made around $3,436. Now, why did we make a different amount on Facebook than OfferUp? Facebook, you're gonna have different sellers or consumers. Now, the sellers are gonna be older. This means they are going to have a knowledge gap. They're also going to sell off of value. So they have phones that may be in their drawers, and they don't want to just sell that phone because of what it's being brought for in the market. They wanna sell it based on what they deem the value to be. Now, OfferUp is different. They're gonna be younger, okay? Now, they're younger. They also sell for profit. So you'll see more deals, hence why it's called OfferUp, but you'll see more deals. People are buying and also selling based on not just their evaluation, but also eventually the market value. You may have somebody that says, oh, I want $700 for this iPhone 14 Pro Max, but the iPhone 14 Pro Max in the market is only worth $450. So you gotta talk them down. The problem is people don't know how to. But eventually, if you do it the right way, they'll probably end up coming down to like $525. You buy that phone, you can list it back on OfferUp or on Facebook. See, when it comes to you buying phones here, somebody might say, okay, I want that same 700, right? But instead of just coming all the way down to $525, they may even just wait. They may wait and it flatlines because they don't actually need to sell that phone. Remember, they're older. They're selling phones that may be sitting around collecting dust, but these are not phones that they have any urgency to sell. That's why we have not converted as much on Facebook. Now, it could be the opposite on these platforms depending on your area. You have to be able to dictate and see exactly what sweet spot is yours, but we are showing you exactly how we evaluate each platform. Now, let's break down the math, okay? How do you actually find the value in phones, right? So finding the value in phones happens a few different ways. You can sell to either people, consumers, or wholesale buyers. Now, a consumer is going to be somebody that buys off feeling, okay? A wholesale buyer is going to be somebody that buys off market value, okay? So the consumer is always going to buy the phone based on need, supply and demand. Oh, I need to get my daughter a phone. I'll pay this price for it because I need it now. Wholesale buyers won't do that. They're going to only want to obtain phones so that they can buy it for market value or lower, so they can resell in their country. Now, it's important for me to tell you, not everybody is a wholesale buyer, okay? A lot of people in the States, prime example, act like they are. I got a lot of people in my TikTok and Instagram DMs asking me to join my price list because they're buyers, and I know they're not, because that's not things buyers come to me for. But we'll digress for a second on that. I want to make this clear. You have two different type of price lists, okay? You have a paid price list, free price list, okay? Now, think about the paid price list as something everyone frowns upon because they don't understand, why would I pay for prices when I can just get free ones? Free prices are coming from people that are buying phones from regular resellers like us and selling them to places and people in the States. They are resellers just like you and me. They are refurbishing companies that refurbish the phones you sell to them and then sell them to stores and sell them to different businesses. That's what they do. They're not selling based on market value or trying to sell overseas. Wholesale buyers usually are connected to paid price lists. Now, I have a paid price list on wesply.com. Now, my paid price list comes with a community where you're able to not only book as many one-on-one calls and mentorship calls with me, you're able to take phone flipping classes. Every single Thursday, I have a class where I'm breaking down how to build and grow your income stream. I'm also giving you the price list with the community, okay? But that's below. I want to talk about why paid price lists cost money. Well, buyers don't want to compete against each other. When I created my price list, I put 50 buyers rotating on one price list. So all these buyers are competing against each other for whatever people submit. So people may say, hey, I got an iPhone 14 Pro Max. What happens is the buyers are now all sent communications through WhatsApp and an email that, hey, we got this 14 Pro Max that someone is trying to sell. The IMEI is this, the grade is this. What is your best offer? Some buyers say, I'm not interested. Some buyers say, I'll do 500. Some buyers say, I'll do 550. Depending on who has the highest price, that is who we sell it to. We do this because we understand that paid price lists are always going to be the free one because the free one doesn't come with a network. It just comes with, oh, I need to buy this amount of phones to resell to this company, refurbish to this company. Paid price list gives you buyers that are buying phones on market values. Prices fluctuate, prices go up, they go down, and it is fluid with the market, which allows you to price gouge on certain phones depending on iPhone drops or the seasons or the time of what is dropping now. So what we do is we take advantage of paid price lists way more than free, because free end up just being you selling a phone for a smaller profit, but not really gaining anything from it. You gain connection with buyers when you sell to them. You sell to a buyer so many times, the buyer starts banging with you. He starts wanting to do business with you. You become an asset. That's how I got multiple buyers. I didn't get multiple buyers by selling phones to free price lists. This is something I never told you guys. Selling phones to free prices are great. But what happens is you never ever get that connection, because guess what? There is no paid access. Paid access allows you to now say, okay, I'm paying for this value. Let me get the max out of this value and let me network. Free, you don't have that sense of urgency. And that is something big that we've noticed when it came to utilizing price lists. We're gonna actually look at the price list now. Now, this is a price list that we have paid, and I want to break down exactly how to read any price list so that you actually know. So sealed not activated would mean that a device is sealed but not rung out with a register. A lot of people don't know this either. A phone that is in a AT&T or T-Mobile store, even though it is sealed, it is activated as long as they rung it into inventory. Hence why they can blacklist the phone when you actually sell it to a buyer or a consumer. So I'll give you an example. Somebody goes into a store, they act like they're about to buy a phone, they snatch the phone, run out the store. If they snatch the phone, run out the store, that phone will become blacklisted. It will be listed as stolen. and the cops will come and get you, basically, right? So that's why they have sealed, not activated, because they want a sealed device that isn't activated. Now, activated is going to be referring to a device that is actually open, or even if it's sealed but has been rung up. Now, these are going to be the majority of new phones that you acquire. Now, these type of devices are valuable, but they are not as popular as they used to be, and I'll tell you why in a second. Next, you have no box HSO. That is going to be this last category right here. Now, the no box HSO means no box headset only. Now, these are the phones if you have phone stores, or if you're somebody that does negotiate on places like OfferUp or Facebook, you're going to come across these more, especially if they are people trying to claim that the device they're selling is new, when in reality it's not. But again, you have to make sure that these devices are are newer than 30 days and not older than 30 days. If a device is older than 30 days, it is considered to be used, okay? Why would people actually have a device older than 30 days and just be sitting on it? Usually because they're trying to do an insurance claim. So they're running YouTube, they are running Netflix, they're trying to run the data up. Then they'll go to the insurance company and say, oh my God, I dropped my phone at ShopRite, it's cracked, can you replace it? And then they'll ship out or tell them to come in and get another phone. Now they have two phones, one is flagged, they'll probably go and try to flip that to somebody like you or me, and then they'll keep the other one and do the same thing over again. So this is actually something people do. Now let's go to the used category actually. Now when we go to the used category, you'll see iPhone 17 Pro Max 256, which is right here. Now, usually you'll see different sections per device, but there are grades here. And I want to go over the grades because grades have cost me a lot of money when I first started reselling. Now, when I started reselling phones, I actually would sit down with buyers and sell it to them literally physically. I would literally sit down with buyers and sell them these devices. Now, they would change the grades on me and I would essentially lose money. So A+ grade is going to be a device that is in the box and basically brand new. It's a device that usually is older than 30 days but has not been scuffed, scratched, looks pristine. B+ is going to be a device that looks pristine, looks like new, but doesn't have a box. That's the only difference between A+ and B+. Now, B grade is going to be a device that most of us get. A device that has a little scuffs or scratches, but a device that is still in great condition. Now, C is going to be a device that has cracks or deep cuts inside. Now, what I mean by cuts, I try to refrain from just saying scratches because some people don't know how to tell the difference between a scratch and a crack. Well, scratch is going to be a indent in the screen that does not let your fingernail go in. But once your fingernail goes in, it is now considered a crack. That's a deep scratch, okay? Now, D grade, you don't ever want to get that's going to be a broken screen front and back, no Face ID, and etc. We don't even really try to get those prices anymore. Now, the reason I wanted to explain these grades is because sometimes it can become confusing, especially for phone flippers, on what I should actually be offering. So now I want to actually talk about how you make your offer. So how do you actually make a phone offer? Now, I'm just going to randomly pick any phone. Okay, we got the 15 unlocked, okay? 15 unlocked 256. Now, most of us are going to get B grade phones, like I said in the beginning. So we see that this phone right now, market value is only worth $200. We have a problem. And see, a lot of people don't talk about this problem, but I'll elaborate. The problem is that they are paying too low. What do you do when a buyer is paying too low for a device? Does that mean you just don't buy the device, or do you have to pivot and find a new way? Well, you have to pivot and, of course, find a new way. Now, the way you find this new way is simple. You, instead of trying to sell to the buyer, instead you go and sell to a consumer. Now, you still utilize the buyer's prices, as they will keep you honest to market value. But then once you get the phone or any device that you're buying, you will have got it at a low price point where you still have enough profit margin to actually sell to a consumer. And I'll give you guys an example. So we randomly hit an iPhone 15 unlocked. If I type iPhone 15, right? And I see somebody is, okay, right here, first one, Philadelphia. That's where I am. If I click this, it says $350. No low balls, okay. So let's say we brought this phone. Before I even try to buy it, I got to negotiate this person down. But I cannot go to like 100. I can't do that, right? So what I would do is I know that it's worth 200, right? So I'm always looking to make $100 over market value. So I'm probably going to try to make $300 from this phone after I buy it. Now, if I'm going to try and make $300 for it, I can't pay $300, right? I got to pay less. So what I'm going, well, not make $300 from it, but if I'm trying to charge someone $300 for it, I got to acquire it for less than $300. So $300 is going to be what my price point is. Their price point is $350. They are price gouging. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to offer them something that still allows us to get profit. The initial offer that we can do is we could say, okay, let me go ahead and come in at $250. But the problem with coming in at $250 is they probably are going to try to negotiate you up, because they're going to think to themselves, well, this person's at $250, they can come to $300. When we can't go to $300 because we essentially want to make $300. Well, we want to price it for $300. So what we have to do is we're going to actually start at $200, okay? And when we start at $200, we'll go up to probably $220, and then we'll go $230, and then we'll ultimately work our way up to being offered or making an offer of $250. And when we make the offer of $250, the person is going to actually concede. I promise you. So what I would do is I would hit this person up and I would say, I can do $200. Now, this obviously would not work if we were trying to sell this to a buyer. Now, the way my price list works, and my price list is on wesply.com, okay? This is my wholesale website where I have a website dedicated to resellers like you and me. So my service tab shows you exactly what the phone flipping buyer's price list actually does. So definitely check it out. You have two options. You could just get the price list, or you can join the community, which is the best value, okay? Now, when it comes to how we actually are going to negotiate with this person is not going to go for 200. Hopefully they negotiate me a few. Now, when they negotiate, I can go ahead and try to get the price as close to 250 as I possibly can. But if I have to do 250, I'll do it, but I won't go over. Now, understanding your selling price is when you understand the price that you will not go over because you're not willing to not make the profit that you anticipate. Now, if I buy this phone for $250 and I then can sell it on OfferUp, Facebook, and even in person for total amount of $300, make my $50 profit, move on to another phone. See, what a lot of people don't tell you is that phone flipping is not about ads. It's not about how many people you can get to try and sell you phones. It's about how many phones you actually convert. And the way you convert is by making offers. And the way you make offers is by holding yourself to certain metrics. Now, prime example with me, with my students, I make sure we're making 10 offers every single day. Whether it's 10 at night, 10 in the evening, or just 10 in mornings, or 10 at the end of the day. It doesn't matter to me, just make 10 offers, right? So if you make 70 offers a week, you're going to likely be able to convert on at least 8 of them, okay? And that is what we want. We want to get at least 8 people to sell us phones, 8 times 50, right? That means we're making $400 a week. Now, why or how did I get to 400? Well, every time you sell a phone, you want to sell it for at least $50, which means you want to always make sure that you are getting a phone lower than $50 of what the profit margin is, unless you know it's a low grade phone that you can sell a little higher. Prime example here, I know for a fact that I can sell this phone for $250, or I can even sell it for $300. I know I got wiggle room basically, right? I can take this phone, buy it for $200 and sell it for $300, right? Then that'll be a $300 profit. The problem is I doubt this person is going to be that lenient and allow me to get this for $200, but it's worth the try. All right, guys. So that is a bunch of information that I think people don't tell you. Now, I have a lot more that I could share, and it has to do with negotiating and also with how you actually can navigate after acquiring a phone to make sure you're getting max profit. So if you guys like this video, I'll do another one, a part 2, where I'm exposing the negotiation tactics that people don't tell you when it comes to phone flipping. Now, it should be a video on the screen that definitely points you in the right direction for your next step as a phone flipper. Check out that video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.